So we have here a fresh from the casa Hilux that went to CRL Performance to get an exhaust done. I asked him how much it cost. He told me something like 17 or 18,000 bucks. Fucking hell, that's cheap for an exhaust. Well, apparently after a few more questions, I found out why it's that fucking cheap, and this is why it's on the dyno. Most likely, we'll show you why it also doesn't fucking work and makes no fucking power. But first and foremost, here's what I saw. Because this is a stock exhaust here. To look at this part, they chopped off the fucking turbo flange. You're not supposed to do that. And I'll do my best Uncle Roger impression. Hiya! It's so fucking stupid. You're not supposed to chop off stock parts like that. Now you can never go back to stock. What if warranty happened? You fucked already. So no, this is not a bolt-on, and you're, again, let's bring out our downpipe. So I'll show you exactly what's that part that they chopped off. This is what was fucked in his car. Very fucking good job. This is the flange that connects to the turbo. So you have this one in your car. What they did, they cut it here because they don't have this piece. This little step thing here, you need to make that. You need to have a machine shop make that. You cannot just have a pipe and then join it. Nope. So they cut this, and then they welded it downpipe. And the size that they did it is 2.5 inches, which is wrong. We're dynoing it now, so this is what the correct downpipe should look like. The stock exhaust system is 2.5. They changed with something that's also 2.5. And then I crawled under the car. They don't have a muffler. They have a muffler. And for all intents and purposes, doesn't muffle a damn thing. See, we can hear it all the way in here. And I'm sure it fails the fucking decibel test. How much did you pay?
Around 18 grand for that.
Fucking hell, dude. Where's the decibel meter? The passing score for our fucking hell, that's hot. Well, 110 decibels, sure ball, baksak sa inspection yan. Passing score is 99 and below. So no way this sucker's gonna pass when time comes to register. Oh, well, it's another, what, 3 years, 5 years? Oh, yun. So if you have that, good luck to you, and you can never go back to stock because they fucked you. So how much power did we make? Let's see how much power did we make. Okay, it's 154 horse. Actually, it's about what we expect from a 2.4. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna put back the stock exhaust and fix his stock downpipe. Then we'll dyno it again and see how much power we make. My guess is 0. Tanggal. Well, apparently they didn't cut just one thing, they cut all of it. And this is why it's cheap. They cut the flange here, they cut the flange here for that and that. This is the stock one, they cut it also.
How bad is it?
You're not supposed to cut any of this stuff. You're supposed to replace it. Well, now it's cheap. So again, this is the entire CRL exhaust. It's basically a 2.5 inch pipe, which is the wrong size because your stock pipe is also 2.5 inches. And then it doesn't have a muffler. It has a muffler. Yeah, muffler. Very cute muffler. This thing does not muffle anything. As we saw a while ago, it's 110 decibels. Shit. No wonder it's cheap. Ayun. Because, well, you get exactly what you pay for. You pay 18,000 for this shit exhaust. Fuck that. Okay, we're putting back the stock exhaust, but we have to return the stock things here. So, yeah. There you go. See, this part here, there should be a flange here. That's that one over there. They cut that. That's not right. Okay, back to stock. We'll try to fix it as much as possible and replicate the welds of the stock one. So if in case it gets warranted, Toyota will not see that it's been cut before. Okay, we managed to weld it back together in one piece, and we're welding for this part here on the flange where it bolts onto the turbo. We're welding it both inside and outside because this is a one-piece casting actually. It's not stainless tube unlike this part here. This is a one-piece casted. The flange itself is welded using a MIG welder, but since they cut it, never mind. This sucks. And they forgot to. Ideally, when you go to a shop and you have stuff done, they should give you back all the stock items. We do. So, but sometimes people forget to get it. But this one is like what, a day or two old. They forgot to give us these things for here, so you can mount the stock heat shield. How in the world am I supposed to mount these things without the screws that come with it? So we have to find. Good thing we have a lot of screws lying around here. So, yeah. And one thing else I noticed about this shit exhaust is there is no flexible pipe section. Let me explain this one. This braided thing here is a flexible section. What this does is it flexes. Okay, it's a bit hard to flex, but see, it bends. This part's job is to isolate the vibration from the engine because the diesel engine does rock back and forth. It rocks more than gasoline engine. So if you don't have this, something somewhere along the way, sometime later, it's going to break. Might be one of the welds, might be the bracket, something. You need one of these things to be able to isolate the engine, and then, of course, if it's there, vibration will travel inside the car. It's so noisy anyway, you really won't notice it. So this exhaust doesn't have it. So yes, that flange costs money. This costs money. A real muffler like Borla or MagnaFlow costs money. So if you add all of those things up, what we're offering, well, as of 2024, our MagnaFlow exhaust is $29,500, our Borla is $35,000. Yeah, if you add all of those things up, and the tip also, not that piece of shit tip there, a real Borla tip, that also costs money. So if added all of it up, you're really just getting what you pay for. For this one, you're getting a shit exhaust that gives you 0 to minimal power, and then for our exhaust, you get a real deal 3-inch exhaust that gives you 10-15 horses. So it's up to you. Again, if you can't afford it, there's such a thing called saving up for it. Maybe you've heard of it. Your parents should have taught you that. And the cheaper alternative is just that, cheap. Well, the results are in. We put back the stock exhaust and it makes exactly the same horsepower. Well, peak power, 154, 154. But the thing is, that only tells you 1/10 of the story because it happens at the same RPM, at 28 RPM. But here's the kicker part. At 2002 RPM, you actually lost power from 140 horse to 80 horse. So this thing, this is our baseline run. This is our stock exhaust. So this with the CRL exhaust, this is stock exhaust. So power loss, power loss, power loss, power loss, power loss. Then it peaks and you will hit 154 horses at 2.8 and then it drops off again. So you'll only have your full power for 0.01 seconds and then it drops off. So power loss, power loss, power loss. Same thing with torque, loss, 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 loss. Everything's a loss. So it doesn't gain power, it loses power. And here's the reason why. Here's the air fuel ratio. This is stock. This is it. It's lean. It's very lean. Now, computer is not giving it any fuel. The reason why the computer is not giving it fuel will be explained when you look at the boost. Here's your boost. This is stock boost, this blue one. This is the boost with the exhaust. So as you can see here, it's 19 psi, and with the exhaust, it's only 13 psi. And the reason for that is because number one, the stock pipe flows better than the shit exhaust. So you're actually restricting the exhaust more. So if you're restricting the exhaust, the computer will sense that and will not give you no boost. Hence the lot lower boost. Then the boost, as you floor it, as it climbs up, then you will equalize the boost. But here, from 2000 to 25 RPM, it's power loss, it's boost loss, and sureball yan, malakas sa gas. Shit. You really get what you know. You don't get what you pay for. You pay money for your car to lose power. Sweet deal for 18,000. Tanga yung bumili nito. Like Uncle Roger said, "Aya, what he do? What the fuck? You stupid! You spend money, lose power. Very, very stupid. You go home and cook fried rice." All right, we're done with the CRL testing on this Hilux, and as we saw, it's not 0 horsepower, it's negative horsepower. Next on our list will be the much vaunted HKS full exhaust. So we have one set here. On first glance, my guess is will not make much power either. For this one very simple reason. This is the pipe this is one of the pipes that come with it. This is the stock Hilux pipe. It's slightly bigger. Slightly. So this is 2 1/4. This is 2 1/2. The rest of this is 2 1/2. Then the rest of this is all just 2 1/2. And here's the thing. What comes after this one, this is also just 2 1/2. So basically it's the same size. And then you have this puny ass downpipe. That is small. Yeah. And it is even smaller. This even smaller than 2 1/4. This only like 2 inches. Nope, this is not the correct size. So anyway, this is the comparison here. The stock looks a bit bigger too. So this is slightly bigger than that. This one, no, this is not correct, because if you mathematically take the computation of this entire thing, which is the catalytic converter, you minus out the mesh inside, the volume and the area will still be bigger than that. So again, this is not yeah, well, like I said, that's why we dyno it, and we'll see what happens. So this is one set like that, and this is one set like that. This goes here like that. Okay, we'll install it, we'll throw it back on the dyno and see how much power the entire thing makes. So we have everything laid out here, and just so all of you watching will know what the correct term for the parts are, because there's a lot of confusion out there. Some people still think that there's a resonator for the Hilux. There's none. So anyway, let's start from the very top. So a full exhaust for the Hilux, or pretty much any modern turbo diesel, starts from the turbo. Your car does not have any headers. It has a turbo manifold, which is actually integrated into the engine. And sometimes it's also integrated in the turbo. You cannot just change that alone. So no, you have no headers. So this is the downpipe. This is a stock downpipe. It's made up of 2 pieces. This is a V-band clamp here for the. This is where the turbo is actually. This is the exhaust side of the turbo, and this is the whole downpipe. Nope, it's like that. Oops. So this is stock. This is the HKS downpipe. Later we'll do this again for our Borla and our downpipe also. Then that connects to here. So this is stock. This is the HKS one. That little puny thing is the muffler. So that's it. You only have one small puny muffler here. This is the stock muffler right there. So the muffler, as the job said, is to muffle. The bigger the muffler, the less the sound. A muffler does not increase the car's volume or change the sound. It's designed to suppress the sound. So obviously, big muffler quiet, small muffler noisy. And what you're really paying for is actually the carbon fiber tip over there, the dual carbon fiber tip that's there, and the name. So as you can see here, it's pretty much the same size. It's slightly bigger, 2 1/4 versus 2 1/2. So again, we will put it on dyno and see how much power it makes after we install everything. Okay, let's do the decibel test. So rules and regulations say that the mic has to be 1/2 meter away from the exhaust and at a 45-degree angle, and then you have to hold the RPM at 2,500. All right, hold it at 2.5. All right. Well, didn't go beyond 99, so this is a pass. So at least it's well within regulation. Like the CRL, I think that one we reached over 100. So yes, so even with that tiny little thing, the thing muffles. So that's correct. Okay, you can turn it off now. Well, dyno is in and no gain. The dotted line here is stock. This solid line is the HKS one. So peak power wise, nothing. 152, 152. This little bit here, that's not considered a gain because it's very simple. If you just average it out, it lost a little bit of power here, gain a little bit of power there. So overall, nothing. No horsepower gain whatsoever. Grand total of 0 horses. And that's actually the full exhaust already. HKS also sells just the catback without the downpipe. So if the full exhaust has nothing, the catback has even more of nothing. So voila, 0. And I think the full exhaust is something close to, as of 2024 December, it's 49,500. I think that's the price, or maybe it could be a bit higher. So for the total price of 50,000 pesos, or about $1,000, no, not, about $900, you get a big fat 0 horse increase, which in my book is 100% stupid. You spend money to gain nothing. So we'll take it out, we'll put in our 3-inch Borla exhaust, and then we'll dyno it again. Alright, now we get to the good part. So we have all 3 exhausts out here. So stock, HKS, this is our Borla exhaust, and first and foremost, it's kind of obvious that the size is a lot bigger. It's a full 3 inches. Not 2 inch, not 2 1/4 inch, nope. It has to be 3 inches. Every other shop that tries to sell you a 2.5 inch exhaust, walk away, they don't know what they're talking about, they're stupid. And we saw a while ago a 2.5 inch exhaust, which is what the HKS is, makes absolutely no power at all, zero. So what we'll be doing is with our full 3-inch exhaust, so starting again from the downpipe here, this is the same flange that goes here. This bolts onto the turbo. Then we have a flexible section here. What they have here is a donut gasket. This actually serves the same purpose, that when the engine moves, it has a little bit of movement. Same thing with the flexible pipe here. I like this better because this thing is, if this thing gets worn out, it's kind of hard. This gasket here, it's kind of hard to find. So you're kind of out of luck. This one, this is a flexible pipe section. This is easy to find everywhere because it's not just used in exhaust, it's used in other things like air conditioning, water pump systems, and all of that stuff. Then all the way back here, we have it again, 3-inch, 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 3-inch. We have our muffler here. So as you can see, it's volume-wise, dimension-wise, it's somewhere in the middle of stock, in the middle of this small HKS one. And then this is the rear pipe. So everybody has a rear pipe here. The reason why the rear pipe tilt is one piece because it's in the car. The reason why we do ours in several pieces so that when we ship it, it's a lot easier to package. It's not one long piece. And then as you notice here, we don't have a tip. We didn't include any more for the purpose of testing, and the reason why we don't do that is because tips add no power, but we do give several choices of tips. You can have just one single chrome tip, you can have dual chrome tip, you can have black tip, square tip, dual black tip. That option is up to you, and we purposely leave it like that because you can have the tip at the back, at the side, two sides, left and right. It's all up to you. That's why we give this one has a bit more customization options than something that like this, you get it right out of side of the box. Some people like the side exhaust, some people don't. Some people don't want a tip, some people want the tip to be seen. Again, it's all up to you. It's all the same, it doesn't matter. It's all aesthetics. There is no difference in power, there's no difference in sound with any of the tips that you choose. It's all about looks, folks. So we'll be installing this now, and then afterwards we'll be throwing it back on the dyno again to see how much power we make. Isasara mo, wala silang ano, konti lang, clear lang. Well, I guess the results speak for themselves. So, review again. Dash dot line is stock. Dotted line is HKS. Green is Borla. So this is what a real 3-inch exhaust can do. So as you can see here, we actually have a lot more boost here at the bottom. So that's why the starting power here is now at 140 instead of just in 85 or 95 horse. Then peak power, we got a little bit more, so it's from 152, we went from 152 to 158. But here in the middle, it outperforms everything. So this is stock, this is HKS, slight power gain. But here we got, this is about 10 horse, 10 horse, 10 horse, 10 horse, 10 horse more. Because HKS only makes this little bump of power here when it drops off. No, everywhere else is the same. Then here's the same also, but our Borla exhaust has power everywhere. I think that's enough said. And our full exhaust as of 2024 is $35,000, so that's about $600. I don't know about you. I spend less money and gain more power versus spending something more that doesn't gain anything. It's practically zero. So this is pretty much the definitive how you should test exhaust systems. The other thing is also that even though we use Borla for the muffler, we can use MagnaFlow, we can use Flowmaster. As long as the thing is 3 inches, That is the correct size. It will make power. So I think we've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that 2.5 is the wrong size. Minimal to no gain. Muffler brand is, well, not that important. As you can see also, oh, we'll do the decibel test as well. As you notice, we didn't put the rest of the tip here because the tip can be here, can be here. It doesn't really matter. So this is where the exhaust ends. So this is about half a meter from where it is at a 45-degree angle. Okay, rev to 2.5. Keep it steady. Okay. Well, the highest reading I saw was about 93 decibels, so it's about 5-6 decibels quieter than HKS. So this sucker will definitely pass LTO standards as far as noise levels are concerned, because the failing mark is anything above 99 decibels. So we're at 92, 93, a very comfortable passing mark. So this will not fail when you have your car registered. And as a bonus, what we're going to do now, since we already have the board, and we will remap the car to see what the potential is for this Hilux with just the exhaust and the remap. And that's what we're going to do now. We already have the tuned file, which we're going to write. And again, after that, we'll dyno again to see how much more power we get. All right, so this is how we're remapping it. A little bit of explanation here. This is our writing software, so we're now writing the file, and this is the file itself here at the background. So as you can see here, all of these things are mapped. So we have here, post-injection volume, request torque, so this for the pedal, torque loss limit, volume of injection map. So again, these things are all called maps. The maps look like this one here. There's a big Excel, basically a big Excel file here at the background. You can see here. So there's a bunch of numbers here. That's what we changed. And once we changed all of that, we save it into a separate file, and that's the file that we write into here with the new settings. And that's what makes more power. So for diesels, it's, if you want to distill it very, very simple, diesels simply need air and fuel. So the only thing that you can, well, you can manipulate both. So we can adjust the boost, which is the air part, and we can adjust the fuel. When is it injected? How much is injected? So in a nutshell, that's a very, very basic on how diesel engines work. But just by manipulating these two factors, we're able to make 40, 50 horsepower more. So what do you want? You want top speed test?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's 200, right?
Yes, that's 200.
So yeah, it only goes up to 200, but it goes over 200. So if you want to be concerned about speed limit, there, speed limit has been defeated. It's up to 200, more than 200. So that's what your car is theoretically capable of. So as you can see it here. And the other thing that we want to show you guys is this one, these two buttons here. These two buttons remain as is, eco and power. So they still work, they still function as is, but of course eco doesn't feel like eco anymore. And power just simply feels more powerful because these two buttons do not control how much power the engine makes. It actually controls when the transmission shifts. When it's in eco mode, the transmission will shift as quickly as possible to the highest gear possible to keep the RPMs down. That's what makes it more economical, lower RPMs. And power is simply the transmission will shift at the higher RPM. But all of that can be overridden by when you do the plus minus manual thing. So again, just leave it in drive. These two functions as is. Don't have to worry about it. It will not mess with it. And will still play nice with each other. So I think we ended up with 180 horsepower, which is typical of what we see for 2.4 liters. From 50 horse is actually a bit pretty high. We ended up with 180, so that's 40 horses more. But if you take the total horsepower and you do the Excel thing on the graph, you're looking at 50, 60 horses more. That's for the Borla exhaust and for the ECU remap. So at 180 horses, this is pretty much what a 2.8 liter makes, and you don't have to pay the price for a 2.8 liter. In terms of power, we don't get the nice flares and all of that stuff, but yes, 2.8 power on a 2.4.